throughout the entire county of Gloucestershire. It really is good. And I'd like to introduce you to Councillor Richard Leppington here, who sits on Gloucestershire County Council and on the Forest of Dean District Council, and who is the senior elected official for UKIP in the county of Gloucestershire. And he will introduce David.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow patriots. Usually when I speak in Gloucester, it's at Shire Hall, and on those occasions I tend to find that the Lib Dem and the Labour members or councillors put their fingers in their ears, and some even turn their backs. So none of you have done that tonight, so I'm obviously dealing with a much better quality of audience, so thank you for that. Not yet, okay. Well, welcome Gloucestershire, and I think we've got a great deal to celebrate here tonight. So I just want to recap what we've done this year and what we're hoping to do next year. The first 6 months of this particular year have been an amazing time in all of our lives. We achieved something that was quite momentous, and I think it's fair to say that throughout most of Gloucestershire, it was only UKIP that were actually out there. The Tories have tried to claim credit for the Leave vote, but it is, I won't use the epithet that gentleman just used, but it's true. We were the only people out there on the streets. It was us primarily that made it happen. So well done, ladies and gentlemen. Love you all. Thank you. The last few months since the referendum have, I think, been what we'd all probably describe as trying. There's been a lot of nonsense going on at a national level and also at a local level. From my point of view, I was elected with 2 other gentlemen to county council. I use the word advisedly, thank you. They both defected, and what's worse than the fact they defected was that they didn't even have the courtesy to tell me they were going to defect. I learnt about it from the journalist, which I think says something about them. But what I would say is that I would rather know when I'm in a fight who's minding my back. And these fair weather friends and these Tory bandwagon jumpers, and we had one of them stood as an MP for MP in the Forest, and has now gone back to the Tories. We don't need them. We're going to have to be very, very careful in future about who represents us. So anyway, that's the negative side of what's happened. But there's been a lot of positive stuff in the last week or 2 weeks. In particular, Paul Nuttall being elected as leader. I really think that this now is the start of us fighting back. There's been a few local highlights, in particular the Long Levens by-election, which you fought here. And then Wolfie. Is Wolfie there?
He's in the kitchen.
Oh, okay. Now I know that, Rich, you were disappointed with the result, and I think some of the rest of you worked so hard were a little bit disappointed. But I don't think you've got any need to be, because at the end of the day, what you did was you went out there and you flew the flag, and you let our political opponents and the people of Gloucester see that UKIP was still alive and still fighting. So total respect to you for that, and
the others as well. I mean, the candidate and all the other workers.
Everybody, and I know we came over and helped you a bit too. So total respect to everybody who was involved. Also, I want to mention at the Forest of Dean, we've been, or we continue to punch above our weight, and last night we had a success at full council where one of our manifesto pledges to get rid of the cabinet system was actually, we managed to get that through, and we've now reverted to committee. At County Council, I continue to plough a lone furrow, but I'm still trying to bang the drum for grammar schools in the restoration, because we've got them, but to get a grammar school back into the forest and to expand the range of grammar schools so that people who are perhaps not born privileged are able to access the best type of education that we can possibly give them. There's also subjects dear to my heart is the crisis that we've got in adult social care and also in our looked after children. Both of these are being severely underfunded by the Conservative government. It's looking after people who've done so much for us in the past is something that I think we are honour bound to do, and it's something that whilst I'm in UKIP, I hope that at this level we will continue to fight for. So next year, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a massive task. We've got county council elections coming up. We've got some damn good people who are looking to stand. We need everybody here to pitch in and to try and help and to return as many councillors to Shire Hall as we can, because I'm getting fed up with being the only one there. So I was told by somebody who's a great after-dinner speaker that you should stand up, speak up and shut up, so I'm going to follow that advice.
Well, what a fantastic speech and how honoured we are. I'm just going to introduce a member from UKIP Stroud, Roger here, who's got about 60 seconds to talk to you, and then I'll say thank you to everybody, and then you'll be pleased to know that's the end of the speeches.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As you can tell by my garb here tonight, there's no fool like an old fool. But I dressed as a cricket umpire, and I paraded up and down these streets going, out, out, out. And thankfully, at least Gloucester took some heed of our words. I don't think the victory round here would have happened if it hadn't been for our mine host tonight, Paul. Tireless worker, did everything for us. So, to mark our great victory, which was part of the greater victory, I'd like to just make a few short presentations. Paul, is Paul around?
Paul Soden.
Paul Soden? Yeah? Right, you can hang this hopefully on one of the walls in his pub. This print from the Daily Telegraph shows the lion and the unicorn breaking away. And that is dated, so that's to you for all the help you've given us. Okay? And I might... Thank you. Thank you. I might warn a few of you in advance. I put about 10 of those up to Westminster the other day, and hopefully Nigel is going to sign each one, and they're going to be up for auction and prizes in the future, hopefully. Anyway, other smaller cogs in the wheel were, and I can only address Stroud members, although there were a huge amount of people that put in work, a huge amount of work. So I'd just like to make a few presentations. There are only three. If you'll just excuse me, I'll get the first one down. And it's going to go. Our leader made that an iconic part of his figure. Yeah, he would never ever be seen without a Green King PA glass in his hand. So I think that that's pretty fair if we hand these out to mark that occasion. And you'll notice at the front it's IPA, and I'd like to suggest that in UKIP's orbit that means independent, patriotic, ambitious. He couldn't have told you anything. You might have noticed that the Chinese came over and went to a pub with David Cameron on their official business. They have now bought that pub, but it's Green King, and they won't outdo that. So, the first one I'd like to hand to is Richard Ford.
Oh, thank you.
Because an absolutely tireless worker and a big drinker of IPA, I think, as well. So, if you give me that back, because I'm going to get handed. There are two more behind there, but it just makes it simpler. Another one is our cameraman there, which is Brian Cook, another tireless worker. This is purely symbolic. There you are. Cheers, mate. And last but not least, keeping us all together, is a gentleman over there who keeps putting himself in the news, which is Stuart, and he's our hard-working secretary. So I can now get rid of this. Cheers. No, you can have that one back. I've got the other two up here. So listen, that's the end of the prize giving, but I'd just like to say that David has given us the national overview, and hopefully he has earned the Gloucestershire overview now. I've never been so proud to be involved in anything like this before, and it's been absolutely fantastic. So thanks for your driving force, David, and all those that work with you in the upper echelons, and thanks for all of you that turned up and got the result that we have always wanted. Thanks again.
Well, I've drawn the lot of having to wrap up after three very, very good speeches, and I'd like to say, well done all of you, thank you very much, all three of you. What's more important though, I think, is to thank the people that have been here and been part of our success, and I'd like, of course, to thank the star billing tonight, David Coburn MEP, who's the leader of the party in Scotland. You can't get a further place away from Scotland than South West England, so he's come a long, long way, and, you know, when I think about having to deal with a woman...
TBW.
I mean, you know, round here in Stroud, Stuart in Stroud has got to deal with the Green Party, Molly Scott, Cato, MEP, and all of that. Christina in Cheltenham's got to deal with those big Dems over there. And in Gloucester, we only really have Labour and Conservative, and the Forest, I think, is pretty much Labour and Conservative. But, you know, I think the SNP seem to be worse even than the Greens and even than the Lib Dems, so commiserations on that. Anyhow. That's absolutely brilliant, and just a small thing, actually a very big thing, is I certainly believe passionately in the Union of England with Scotland, and I hope many other people do in this room as well. You know, that's been a union that's worked for both England and for England and for Scotland over 300 years, so what a wonderful thing, and why try and destroy it? That's just my personal opinion, but anyway. So, to say, thank you, of course, to David for coming all this way. It's been a brilliant speech. It's been really good to see you. And if there's ever anything we can do, I know it's a long way to Scotland, we'll do it to try and help. We will, definitely.
Yeah, we will.
We will. I'd like to thank Paul Soden, because, you know, Paul is a massive asset for the whole of Gloucestershire. You know, incredible food again tonight. We've had a wonderful party in the summer barbecue with, you know, 170 people. It was absolutely amazing, so thank you very much to Paul. I'm going to thank someone who doesn't like to be in the limelight, which is Alec Tritton, who's at the very back here, because everyone thinks that I've done all the work and organised this, which I'm quite happy about. Actually, I'm not happy because it's false, because the person that's responsible for making this evening a success, along with Paul and Paul's excellent staff, is Alec. I don't know if you want to come forward. Alec Tritton for the Forest of Dean is a quiet, unassuming person. I just do the bullshit. He does the work. But, you know, this gentleman here, you know, he fights and fights and fights for us in Shire Hall. And, you know, when I went and saw how rude Conservative, Labour and Liberal Democrat are to Richard, it's absolutely true. It made me so angry, because he's been elected, he's been sent there, he's got a right to be heard, and carry on, Richard.
Stupid, so we accept it.
Yeah. But most of all, just to wrap up, I'd like to thank all of you, because we've got people here from Gloucester, from Cheltenham, from Stroud, from the Forest of Dean, from Tewkesbury, from the Cotswolds. It's a county effort, working together, and Hereford.
Of our own voice.
But
Where's Chris?
talking about Gloucestershire, we've worked this year, we've worked together, we've achieved a lot, we've achieved the exit vote, and we've worked really together very well with the county. And you're the guys and girls that have been knocking on the doors, writing to the papers, tramping the streets, standing in the town, action days, all the rest of it. So I'd like to say, on behalf of everybody, well, I don't know why I'm saying on behalf of the party because I've got no authority, but I would like to say thank you all very much for all the hard work you've done this year. Let's look forward to 2017. Let's work to try and get other people from Gloucester, from Stroud and elsewhere in the county to join this man at Shire Hall, Sir Dolly Zone. Thank you very much indeed.
Well, the party can't end there, can it? It just can't. It just can't. It hasn't started, in fact. What an amazing year. I waited all my life for this year to happen, and I wake up every day still and slap my face. Every day. Don't care what they do on the television, that's what I do. But what I wanted to say was I've been involved with this organisation and the fight for freedom for Britain for years and years and years. And 2 or 3 years ago when I met with Richard Ford, there was something immediately that I knew that he had that I thought we all needed, and the group that he helped pull together is a group of people that are so talented we could open a business in this room, and between us we've got every skill. We might as well be round table or whatever those organisations are that pull their trousers up, I don't know, what are they called? Goat chasers or something. But really we have got skills that during the vote leave and subsequently during long 11s just cannot be matched. They're everywhere, they're all over the place. All of you have and have donated and improved those skills, and to all of you and all of us, what a fantastic year. I'm going to have a great New Year's Eve. But all of us have got together, the locals, and we've decided that there's one person who has ceaselessly worked. In fact, I think Nigel Farage and he should go out and have a drink. And when I say ceaselessly, nobody sends emails at 2 in the morning and then he's back on point at 6 a.m. in the morning, however he does it. But we've all decided to give Richard a thank you present for his ceaseless hard work, all the time, it's just ceaseless. Unbelievable. Without you, and you are so modest, it wouldn't be possible. You bind us all together from all the regions, you don't stop, you call us all the time, you sort out the niggles that we have. You somehow are instrumental in why we're all stood here, never mind the building we're in, it's you. And all of us, but you, have bound us together. So we've decided to give you something, and we'd like you to unveil it in public. Big hand of applause, come on.
That is amazing. Future.
Let's hold it up. Come on, let me shine. Right there.
Now I'm going to hand over to Stuart to explain what this exactly is.
Right, what this is, you look at it, it's an ordnance survey map of Gloucester, pretty much like all the others. The exception is that this is in German.
Very well.
It is an original map printed by the Germans for the invasion of this country in 1940.
And don't forget to mention he speaks German. Very well.
And we decided on that purely because they failed the first time and they failed the second time. And a better token of our appreciation to Richard, it seemed quite apt. As I say, it is original and quite unusual. And if you've got a wall big enough to hang it on,
I have, yeah.
good luck.
Well, you know, I certainly wasn't expecting that, and thank you so very much.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah, and I'll say this only once. I just noticed, actually, yes, I do speak German fluently, and I noticed it says Sonderausgabe, which means special edition. Sonderausgabe is German. And I'd like to say, you are all a special edition, UKIP Gloucestershire. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
There we are.